Glocawear radio show. Salute to everybody that's rocking with us right now. My name is Tucan Shab, and what we do is authentic hip hop for 2 hours. I got a partner that's about to do the James Brown, about to slide in there.
Ladies,
The ladies.
Headshots. Glocawear Radio.
Glocawear radio. Let me get my phone so we can push that link.
It's going down. Glocawear Radio, you know how we do.
Watch it.
Take a mic. See if you can. 1, 2.
1, 2.
You heard that? We got my man in the building. One more time.
Simon OnePunchCarr, we live everywhere.
OnePunchCarr, we live everywhere. You already know. Hometown boxer.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Without a question. Thanks for sliding through, Brody.
Hometown
Appreciate
hero.
it. Thank you.
You know, man.
Thanks for coming out tonight.
Man.
You could be anywhere, but you fucking with the Glocawear radio show tonight,
we
man.
fucking with
you. You know, man. So, listen, man. Everybody got a story, man. For people that don't know One Punch, give us a quick background synopsis of you know what you've been doing.
Hey man, professional fighter,
speaking of
boxer, professional boxer, entrepreneur, CEO on the go, Mr. Everywhere when you never there, live. Why would I ever care? We live in the building, and guess what? We right here, live on Glocawear, man. It's important to come back to the beginning and tap in with the big homies, you know, and go back to the roots, man. This is called the Roots Tour, man. Before the Roots Picnic, man. We going back to the roots. You know what I mean? Tapping in with all the OGs is important to tap in with all the OGs and get it right, man. A lot of people been skipping steps. They haven't really been paying homage and tapping in and you know, fulfilling the need, you know, in terms of tapping in with the OGs, man, and seeing what's going on, man, in the streets, man. So it's important for me to be here, man. Thank you for having me. You know, Tucan's an icon. Glocawear's the icon. That's one of the first, you know, internet radio show. And everybody's been here, man. So, you know, you got to go back to the beginning and the real essence, man, and get it right, man. If you ain't on Glocawear, man, I don't care what other podcasts you've been on, you ain't been on this one. It's not even a podcast. This is a radio show. So, you know, if you talking about Power 99 and all these things, if you not, you talking about I'm tapping in with the streets and attacking the streets. If you ain't been up on Glocawear, you ain't tapping nothing, man.
Yo.
That's it.
But thank you, man.
God damn, that sounded good, Punch.
But we talking about you tonight, Punch.
Yeah.
We brought you out here, man. You know, you One Punch. We seen you out there at the Gilly John.
Yeah.
Getting your box skills on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how you come about that?
Hey, man, listen, man. They've been really, you know, I've been boxing since I was 12, right? And boxing was a vehicle that took me all over the world, man. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity. Had it not been for that skill or that vehicle, I'd probably be a typical street kid on the street corner, man, on the Chinese store corner. So had it not been for that vehicle, so that vehicle came at a time when I needed it the most. Sometimes you don't know you need it the most, right? Because, you know, I always used to fight a lot since a kid, right? And the unique thing about fighting was the fact of I can draw a crowd. I'm talking about 200 kids before MySpace, Facebook, all that, man. Had you know, TikTok and YouTube, I'd probably be an internet sensation before my time, right? But, you know, I was generating, you know, and girls swinging book bags, and they talk about Simon fighting Simon and standing on cars, and we stopping buses and everything. That was the blessing right there, because each time the crowds got bigger. And one day I'm in front of my crib.
This is street fighting?
Street fighting. You know what I mean? Every day I was fighting right after school, fighting lunchtime, getting suspended after school, fighting. But the girls, they
So,
always was like, Simon, get ready to fight. Simon, fight. And I never saw popularity in it. I was just fighting, right? And so one day, the fight was in front of my crib, and it was about like, 150, 200 kids out there. And my uncle heard the commotion. He was in the kitchen. He said, "Oh, there's kids on this block." You know what I mean? He came outside and he looked in the crowd. He saw me in the center and I'm fighting. He ran out there and broke the fight up and pulled me in the house. He said, "Man, why you always fighting so much, man?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Man, if you like to fight so much, you need to go to a gym, man, and get paid for it. Stop using your head like this, right?" So, I went to a boxing gym and never looked back, man. So shout out to Joe
yeah,
Frazier's,
which
man.
gym you go? Which gym did you start
First
at?
gym I went to Joe Frazier. First time I ever traveled by myself. 11 years old, going on 12, and and was given instructions. Yo, go to Broad Street, go down these steps, get on North Brown, get off on Broad and Lehigh, go a half a block. If you go past the bridge and go past this gas station, you went too far. You see a big bay window. You right there. So I
Yeah.
got there and I stopped at the window and I had both
Yeah,
hands
you
on the
would look
window.
right there. Yeah, because I was from around there.
And
That's
I'm
what you
just
do.
watching. Yeah, so I'm watching it for like 20 minutes, going back and forth before I even got like, you know what I mean? Like the heart up,
To
right?
go
To
inside.
go inside because I thought in my mind, once I go inside, I'm going to fight. I'm like, yo,
Right.
I'm
It's
going to the gym, I'm
on.
going to
It's
fight.
on.
So I get myself pumped up, I'm going in. So as soon as I came in, I'm like, yo, who I'm going to fight? He said, 1 second. He went in the back. He training somebody and watching somebody train. Then he came back out. And I said, man, I want to box. He said, hold up. He went into the office, went into the drawer, gave me a contract, and came back, folded it up, licked it, and handed it to me. I said, what's that? He said, that's an application. You got to take it to your parents, get it signed, and then you come back.
Come back, young
Right?
man.
I said, all right, so now I can box? He said, no, not right now. He said, get it signed from their parents, and then, you come on back. Said, all right, man. So I broke home. Woo, jumped back on sub, came back home. And, I came in and I was so excited to talk to my family and talk about it. They took the paper, folded it up, and stuck it right on the refrigerator and said, all right, get ready for dinner. I said, I'm like, yo, sorry, sir. So I washed my hands and got ready for dinner. And, I'm sitting there and I'm hoping that even, we get the segue while we, passing the bread. Like,
Right.
listen, well, I was at the gym and all that. They ain't want to hear it. I'm like, damn. So I'm like, yeah, all right, so when we going to box, y'all going to sign this and everything. So they like, you got to get a doctor's and all. So they really, like my family, like really didn't want me to box, but it was like my uncle was like kind of pushing the situation. So they tried to hold me up. In my very first letter that I ever wrote in my life, I wrote it in pencil, and I told my uncle, because he used to travel all the time, "Dear uncle, they won't let me box." You know what I mean? Signed it, and I took it to his crib. But he always traveled a lot, right? So I'm waiting. I'm like, any day now, the phone gonna ring, and he gonna, check him. Like, look, man, let him, do his thing. It would had to be like 2-3 weeks before he got back. And when he got back, he talked to him like, listen, man, he fighting already in the streets. You need to really, allow him to do this. So they like, man, we just don't want. It's like, listen, man, like, I understand, like, some kids want to play soccer and karate and basketball. Kids don't really know what they whole, direction is.
Right. Right.
Mine was pretty much
Right.
sealed, but I went to a gym locally, and they started working with me, and shit, we was all over the world, man, for real, for real. I blinked, and I was real grateful for that little segue, because that was an untapped market, right? And for real, nobody really talks about the fact of the camaraderie, the brotherhood. I knew dudes from, Germantown, North Philly, West Philly, because I was boxing and competing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to all these, different spots, and that's my man, One Punch. Oh man, Punch, yeah, you know what I mean. And So you had love all around the city
All
because you
over,
was
huh?
boxing all around the city.
That's what's up. One Punch. So how you get the name One Punch?
Oh man, that's an interesting story too in itself. One part of me was a boxer, and another part of me was a puncher, right? And probably like 12, 13, about 13 years old. One trainer was calling me, punch, and the other part of me was like, yo, he's a boxer. So they like one box, one punch, and then they came up with one punch. And my uncle like, yeah, man, one punch. And I was like, nah, that was during the Sweet Pea era. So I'm like, too
Said, nah.
sweet or something like that. And they was like, nah, man, like one punch. And I hated that name. I was like, nah, I don't really like that name. That ain't gonna work. And shit, it worked. Like one day, I knew it worked when my grandma started calling me that. One day she told me to go do something, and she was like, one punch, what you call me? And she was like, yo. And they was like, wow, you know what I mean? By that time, it kind of like stuck because I started developing into who I was and started sitting down on my punches and was getting kids out of there. So
Yeah.
I kind of grew into that name.
How was that first fight? Jitters or whatever when it was really, they put you in the ring against an opponent. Your first time, how was that?
Yeah, every fight you kind of get like pre-jitters, you anxious, you know. The first fight, I
Well, you ain't have no problem fighting in front of a crowd, right? So that ain't you was doing
yeah,
that since
because
you
I
was
was
young.
fighting all
Right,
the time.
right.
Competing wise, it was kind of like it was kind of like it was kind of like decent, right? Because I really, each time I kept like progressing. Like we worked on things, and that's how I kind of like my trainers, and they was kind of patient with me because we were working on things for like 6 months, and then we were like, all right, we're going out there and try it. So that's
Okay.
how you get it,
That's how you
like the
get it.
retaining. So now when you see these new trainers and they're talking about boxing and different things, they're not really giving you the reason as to why. They just putting a pad up there, 1 2 1 2. You're a robot. You need to really know why you're doing these things, and I think that's what makes you different from being good and elite as a fighter.
Did you ever get to go back to Joe Frazier German box up in there?
No,
You
but
did.
the traveling team of Joe Frazier, um, when we were started competing, I see them all the time. Like they were dope. Like yo, they shit. I wanted that. I wanted that uniform. I wanted to be a part of that. But one situation took off faster than others.
Right.
So we never really got back down there. Not in that. I would see them traveling. They had a bus. They had their own gym uniform,
Yeah.
green and white. And I'm like, dang. You know what I mean? We ain't had that. But, we had a South Philly Boxing Club jacket. So, when we put them jackets on, it was different. And you had to fight to even have that jacket. So once you got that jacket, it was real special. It says South Philly Boxing Club. And when you came in the room, you knew who you was. They was like, yo. And we had this thing like, yo, line them up. So when we had that jacket on, you knew you was different. So.
Oh, so you was from South Philly and you had came up to up north to.
Yeah, I was
okay.
I was from South Philly at that time.
Okay, alright.
Yeah. Like, and so that was a difference but my uncle traveled all the time. So he wanted to get at. We never had a geographical bone because like my aunts and all of them lived in North and everything.
Right,
I was
right, all over.
so like and had played little league up there. I appreciate those things, man, because had it not been and had them congressional lines, then you would really just be in a box. Dudes were like, yo, I
True.
can go anywhere, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
comfortably and blend because I don't have a geographical mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the difference, man. That's what, and I didn't even know at that time that was the difference in terms of being a thorough, right? I remember, and so talking about that story, I got my first summer job, right? So
Right.
when I got my first summer job, it was a Philly
Oh, my
job,
summer job, right? Philly
right?
job. Shout out to
So
Philly job.
yeah, we had a Philly job,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
So I'm so excited, right? About 13 years. 13 years old, got my first summer job. They giving you like 250, you know what I mean, every week or 2 weeks. So I'm excited. I'm like, yo, we gonna go get, you know, I went to go get the felines with the strap, the high top ones, right?
Right.
Excited, right? Outfit, and you just excited because you make your own money, right? So on our way to go to cash the checks, there was dudes on the corner, and we was all, oh yeah, we got the check, and they got money. So they were like 17, 18, we like 12, 13. So they tried to jump us. So I'm
Take that little
rumbling
checks,
and
right?
boom, boom, take their money, right? So I'm like, yo, I knew like two of them in the crowd. Said, come on, dog, like, yo, you know my family, like you tripping. So wind up rumbling, go home, got my uncle. Yo, uncle sat me down. She's like, yo, man, he went out there. He knew who they was. Like, yeah. I said, yeah, they tried to take our money, man. They tried to take our sneaks and stuff. So he's like, I never forgot it. He's like, man, listen, you want to be a gangster or a hustler? Just that simple. So what you mean? He said, man, hustler can go anywhere. Gangsters, that's where they going. They only can go to this corner store. They can only go to this barbershop. They can only go to this sneaker store. They can't go nowhere else. And I started seeing that. Like, yo, dudes, you know what I mean? Southwest, they only on 52nd Street. Dudes from there, they only up, you know what I mean? City Line Avenue. Dudes
Right,
from
right.
here, you know what I mean? Germantown Avenue. They was only in that congressional line. When you was a hustler, you was going all over. So at a young age, I'm all over 52nd Street, Uptown, Germantown, all over because I had a different conversation. I appreciate that conversation
All
because
right.
he set me straight. Like, don't even worry about that money, man. Like, what you gonna do? Because you ain't being a hustler, being a gangster. You can't make this money back because you're gonna be, worn going back and forth. We gonna get that. That's small money. Don't even worry about that. Being a hustler, you gonna always make it back. They can't make it back because they only at this little small section.
True. Yeah,
So
man. You learned a good lesson right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's what's up.
One punch, man. Definitely, man. So what? As far as like, are you what? Are you pushing the agenda now? What are you doing as far as like, are you teaching the youth? Are you in the gym with training?
Bodyguarding. What you
So
do?
yeah, it seems like all these things is coming all at once,
You
man. I kind
acting.
of like I really feel like I'm at the crossroad, right? And it's a unique thing. I got a nonprofit organization called JAB, Juveniles Against Bad Behavior. So that's a dope situation that I've made, right? And each
Yeah,
summer we
shout out
do
to
a summer
Jab.
program. So I'm pushing that, and then I'm on my journey right now of losing the weight, and I'm documenting it each day and showing the whole thing. So I'm probably, at the end of the year, I'm gonna drop a documentary about my life and and the whole journey, right? And
Yeah.
then from that whole perspective, as well as just journeying, going back into boxing. I just did celebrity boxing, just won that, did Gillian Wallow, and probably do like two more before the ending of this year, man. Hopefully three,
Yeah. Two to
so
three. Yeah,
yeah.
you were okay. That's what's up. You left-handed, right-handed.
Right handed, but I can fight on both sides though. And the deep thing about that, right? They put me up against a younger guy, right? And it was deep. It was deep, right? It's the deep thing about this boxing thing is this, right? For guys like us, you know, the younger generation, they like, oh man, go ahead, over here. You know what I mean? They really don't really know. And this is why this is so important to come back to these places like this, right? The ground, right? Because we skip an era. And when we skip an era, the respect level kind of goes out the window. Like when we, hear Glocawear, yeah, we heard the name, yo, Tucan, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, over here. But if they don't really know the
Right.
history and it's not updated, right, it kind of goes out the window.
Yeah.
Oh, facts.
So you gotta kind of come back and re-summarize and keep coming back and updating your resume. So dudes, the younger generation, dudes like us, yo man, that's One Punch man, and they know their name, and then the younger generation like, oh yeah, well they think it's just a colorful name. They
Right.
ain't know it came from a meaning.
Yeah. Shit is a
So
real
they like, all
story. It's
right,
a
man,
story.
yeah. Yeah, I know he used to box back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, I know they talk about him. But what he doing now? You ain't update your resume. So they, man, I don't care nothing about that old head, man. Oh man, that's some old shit. No. So that was the purpose of going back and re-updating. You gotta really update the system.
Right.
So yeah, so even with Gillian Wallow and them, like,
Shut,
yeah,
shut
Wallow
up.
was locked up. Gilly, yeah, man, Gil, it's been a while since Gil rapped. You know what I mean? Yeah, all right, it seemed like yesterday, but he keeps it fresh with that. Oh, yeah, Major Figure. But that was over 20 years ago. So even with our conversation, we had a little sidebar, and he was like, yeah, man, you talking about that, 96 shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm talking about now. I still exist in this time. And he was like, man, even we kind of had a sidebar. He's like, man, you only got like 30 something followers. I said, bro, I exist in real time. I'm still tangible. Some of y'all places you can't come to. I go. I'm right here. I'm tangible. Ain't no security, and we don't got no bulletproof. I'm still here. I come back. You know what I mean? Certain places you can't go. Oh man, ooh. Yeah, that's cool and all, but you got security with you, dog. You know what I'm saying? We had them real conversations, and you ain't touching them like that. In our minds, we kind of get tricked out, right? We get tricked out like, no, I ain't changed, but you did change, dog. So the difference is, you know, certain people won't play. We play these new games with the internet, and they may see somebody as a crash dummy. No, let me see if he still got it. So they sent him. Let me see, and then they see me demonstrate. Damn, that motherfucker still can fight. Don't you play yourself. That's your downness. If you didn't think, you didn't do your research. That's your dumbness. But aside from that, see, we'll play on these internet and they'll go up on the comments and they'll play these games, but they don't know how physical you are. We don't. All right, man. He's still looking in shape, but I don't know. Go ahead. I'm gonna push him in through the door first. Go on. Let me see. You know what I mean? All right, well then you was the iconic fighter. You ran you're playing through the building first. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, what other question?
Yes,
You
sir.
gotta have
Yes,
a
sir.
different type of relationship and respect. So now, when you putting the work in now, and people see we updated the resume, it's different. Some motherfuckers for us, they like, damn, that motherfucker still can fight. He still, you know what I mean, fly. He's still moving around. He's still talking that shit. Some dudes, we
Yeah.
always talking about back
Yeah.
in the day, yeah, when we got it. But the young girls and all that, when they know, nigga, do you got it now? You know what I'm saying?
No,
You know what I mean?
facts.
Do you got it now?
Facts, man. Facts.
For real.
Shout out to Lucci Toast. Shout out to Jordan Ramsey, man. You know what I mean? But Punch, man, we definitely gotta get back to our music, but we want our listeners to know, man, you gotta a message or something, man. You just gotta put forth for you want people to hit you up for anything, any type situation.
Billy.
Let them know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Follow me on Instagram under OnePunchCarr. Follow me on Twitter on OnePunchCarr. We got the new merch get ready to drop. Everywhere merch. We get ready to drop my book, my documentary, docu series.
I think you
we're
should.
working.
Yeah.
We
need-
active, man. And it ain't just an Instagram commercial. See, we were just talking about that offline about Instagram. That's just a commercial. They like, what you doing now? That's just a promotion now. You put a picture up. All right, yeah, you get a like, but what's the behind the scenes? So now we have to have the call of action. You got to have the merchandise that Tucan was talking about. You got to have the t-shirts. You have to have your own website. You have to have your own drive. So now you can go to these people with the analytics and say, this is what we're doing.
Exactly.
So once you have
Yeah.
these things and you doing these spots, you can show, yo, I just brought in, 2,000, viewers, and they turned to the subscribers. This is what we're doing. I brought a fan base to your show. They're watching this show, and then they can say, damn, you know what? I got to tap in. I got to get with this. It's not just posting a picture no more. It's not just, being on Thread
That's
and
right.
TikTok. You have
That's
to
right.
have your business set up. So it's important. Go ahead.
One punch. No, I'm taking game. You know what I mean? I'm getting game from you. But like I said, man, we definitely appreciate our
Thank you for having me,
yeah,
man.
man. We gotta have you back, man, so you can give up some more
Most
knowledge.
definitely,
Yeah,
man.
real
You know
game,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Business, the
Definitely.
boxing, to being everywhere when you never there. We live in the building. More would I ever care. Let's get into this music. Let's see what's going on. We got these new people that's coming in, man. Thank you for having me, man. And thank to all my subscribers and fan base and people, man. And we'll be back, man. Salute to Glocawear everywhere when you're never there. Let's go.
Yeah.
OnePunchCarr,
One
man.
punch card. You best believe it.
The Glocawear Radio Show. This we do each and every Thursday. Smell the freshness, man. Definitely visit Glocawear.com. Download that Glocawear Radio app and like, comment, and subscribe to this episode on YouTube.
That's right. We're not done. We're still playing music.